It's episode 3 of The Elevation on Fan Day Nation.
Yes.
I am Danny Williams, Broncos legend Mark Jackson.
That's me.
Right in the middle here of Geoff Girsch. He's a coaching hero in the Southwest Denver metro area.
Let's go. Yes.
Let's cook. We have so much to talk about. Last time we were together, the Denver Broncos were kind of in the middle of maybe one of the most iconic drafts of maybe they have
History.
It is in history,
No doubt.
That's
The most iconic.
Colorado history.
I mean, you think about the making the playoffs last year.
Yes, right.
And now having an opportunity to take it to the next level.
So you're saying you get your cornerback Barron. Everyone's like, I need a running back. I need a tight end. I need a receiver. They go get the kid Barron from Texas, who's like a 8, 9, 10, 11. In terms of the evaluation of where he should have been drafted, his draft stock, the evaluation has him falling to 20 overall. I mean, that's kind of unique and kind of special, but the Broncos have proved they're going to go best player available.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's some backstory to that,
Well, tell me about it.
So Vance Joseph, the defensive coordinator for the Denver.
That's right.
His cousin.
Wait, is this a rebuild or a reboot?
We're close, guys.
Vance Joseph's cousin coached Jahdae Barron.
Okay.
So he was at Texas, he was a defensive coordinator as well as defensive back coach. So there's some little insider information, if you know what I mean, about the kid's character. That's something that you can't really judge when you watch him film. Is this guy going to go out at midnight, 2 o'clock in the morning to shotgun willies, right? Can you say that?
John Morant. We did John Morant last week.
Is he going to hang out with John Morant?
Okay.
Or is this guy wholesome? Is this guy going to always get better and better and better actually be a good, a steward of his role?
Mark, when you go to these situations, when you have a guy who you draft in the first round, second round, you have that big press conference, okay, and you have the general manager, you have the head coach there. Everyone is sitting here behind this beautiful backdrop that we have, right?
Yeah.
Listen to the guy speak. Barron is a team captain. He is a leader. He is a guy who last year's draft had 6 quarterbacks taken in the first 12 picks, right?
Right.
So every draft kind of shakes out and manipulates in a certain way that maybe you didn't see coming. So what we know is the Broncos drafted the best player available. And do you know what? He was like the 8th, 9th, 10th prospect on many boards, and they took him at 20. So here's what I'm saying. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You know who was 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? Patrick Surtain and Micah Parsons was 8, 9, 11, 12. And they got this guy with the 20th overall pick. For one, Sean Payton, people think, he's an offensive guy.
Yeah.
I got to win now. I got to win me another Super Bowl. Well, this guy just proved he's going to give it to Vance Joseph. It's a reboot, not a rebuild.
It's humbling.
He gives one of the best defenses in the league, Mark, and you're an offensive guy, so I want your take on it. And Jeff, you got to give me a take on this, too. You go get one of the best defensive players in a draft, and you add him to a already stout and stacked defense. A corner, how valuable could he be when you have already a premier corner on one side?
Yeah, if you take it first.
Well, for me, I mean, it's almost like adding a pitcher to your pitching staff. Can you have too many pitchers? Is there such a thing? No, you play catcher? Come to my team. I need catchers. I need pitchers. I need cornerbacks, and I need safeties. Safeties and cornerbacks kind of look the same, and now they're starting to mix linebackers in on that whole trifecta. I say as many as you can get, you get them. And this guy, I mean, if you're playing football at Austin, Texas, you already know how to play football.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Hey, gig him, or what do we do?
I think it's a hook 'em and then don't throw it down.
I don't want to get anybody pissed
Remember,
off.
if you throw horns, there used to be a 15-yard penalty for throwing the horns down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a thing.
My bad.
Don't do that. Do that.
Can't do it.
So Jeff,
okay,
one thing.
Follow up.
Mark's the pro, but Jeff said something I hadn't thought of.
Okay.
You said a starter or a reliever to the Broncos defense, a defense that was already a top 8 or 10 defense, that now we're thinking is going to be a top 5 defense in the league. Is this cornerback addition in a sense adding a starter or a reliever to the defense? Let me get Mark's take.
I mean, it's almost like having steak, and shrimp. It's surf and turf.
Surf and turf?
You've got them both, and you got to be feeling good about all your choices. I wouldn't order just one or the other. I kind of want them all. And
You're greedy.
I think when you bolster up your defense,
right?
You can afford to get greedy on offense. Yeah,
no, think about it, though. AFC West, what are you going to see a predominant set on the
Patrick Mahomes,
3 wide receivers.
Justin Herbert.
You need 3 defensive backs. You need a nickel back.
Yeah.
Riley Moss, we saw what happened when Riley Moss went down last year. They lose the next 2 games because they don't have that shutdown corner on both sides. So you can't have too many, to your point.
Hey, no doubt.
Pitchers in this case.
Plus, he's a white corner.
Stop it. He's the best. He's the best. I'd say top 10 cornerbacks.
Okay.
You have a top 10 cornerback. You have
room now.
I think you have the defensive player of the year first.
Hey, no fly zone.
Pastor Tate. Okay. So yeah, we're playing against Herbert. We're playing against Mahomes.
Yeah,
got to be able to shut these guys down. But here's what the Broncos did that I think was genius. And if you got to read into this, they placed, they went out and got a tight end first of all. Yeah, catch tight end Engram, premier tight end,
great last season on a bad team
in Jacksonville.
Yes,
you call Jacksonville a bad team again?
Jackson.
I do. They try hard. They got a super rich owner, but that's a bad team, bro.
It's like Avis. We try harder. So. No, but what they're saying and what I think, this is on my own take, is they're saying Bo Nix is good enough to elevate the guys on the team. He doesn't have to be surrounded by all these. He's not a game manager. He's going to be a guy that's great, that we're going to talk about in the future as one of the icons of the league.
Did he just say the E word?
Elevate. Broncos country loves what Mark Jackson is saying. And there's 2 different ways I believe it. For one, there's people in Broncos country who wanted the Broncos to go sign and trade for T. Higgins, Cooper Kupp. Go get me like a veteran receiver who was going to put them over the hump. For one, it's like the hump is right here. They got to get through kind of the midway of the hump. My hump, my lovely lady lumps. Check it out. So what I'm saying is the Broncos don't need to go spend $26 million times 3 years on T. Higgins.
Right.
When the Broncos are really ready to win Super Bowls, if and when Bo Nix ascends them in 2 or 3 years, T. Higgins will have one 14-game season, one 9-game season. At the end of that, he'll be too old or want more money. So by the time the Broncos, if and when they're ready to win at a high level once again,
level up,
T. Higgins might not even be a part of those plans. So give me young receiver Pat Bryant, who they took in the 3rd round. Give me a Bailey. Give me,
Mims.
Jeff, you're cooking right now. Mims. Hey, is Mims a poor man's Debo Samuel? He's mixing it up. So I don't need a receiver who's going to, demand a bunch of touches, put us behind the 8 ball, and kind of be a guy who's, not ready for us. Who and what the Broncos are.
The culture that they're building is so important. I think that's what other teams around the NFL are starting to see, that, Payton's actually building a culture here. And that's what we've missed since the Manning days, when he came in.
I mean, poor Justin Simmons.
Instant culture, right?
Yeah, he never got to see a playoff game. He was a culture guy, but they just never he never crossed paths with a culture.
Well, how many coaches we had? How many head coaches?
That's what I'm saying. We're talking of
kind of hard to build a culture.
Oh, my God, it's hard. Well, do you know what that goes to? The first thing that makes me think of that, and I'm going to come back to you, is Cortland Sutton.
You didn't name him when you named Vele.
Dude,
right.
You named a rookie from Illinois and named Mims.
If you're a real show like we are, we're the best.
Yeah.
We have a rare, unique combination of style, sophistication, grace, elegance, acha-cha, cheese, a little vino.
Wow.
What I'm saying is Cortland Sutton is, people want to kind of downcast him into being like, he's a number 2 receiver.
Right.
He's had freaking Flacco and Drew Lock and a Bridgewater bums to hell, and this guy's all he's done has been super productive. And do you know what I hope? He can be part of a playoff winner, a couple times playoff winner as the guy, or as they evolve Mims into being something more than who he is now, being one just a playoff contending receiver at a high level. So my thought is this here: they go with first pick and draft the corner Barron from Texas. Hey, listen to the guy's press conference. Leader. Hey, he hadn't even bought his mama a house yet.
He's a man amongst boys.
I mean, it's like you see it and you feel it different. It's not like, hey, I've arrived now, put my shades on. It's all about like, I've arrived because I made $3 million in college. This guy's team captain kind of style. So when you're a receiver, Mark, an offensive player on a team that is contending for championships like Mark's Denver Broncos were every single year, and you draft a defensive player, are you thinking like, no, man, I need a running back. I need one more guy here. I need a big sexy for John Elway. What's that thought when you draft a corner that nobody saw coming?
I think on the offensive side, I mean, again, I have to trust the leadership. I have to trust, and that's literally what culture is your ability to trust what the leadership is saying that's going to help us to win. Because together, we all elevate.
Oh,
right?
Did you say the E word?
I said the E word.
Yes.
Elevate. Right? So, and that's not easy to do. It's not
it's because we don't
buy in.
We don't
We're in
hate.
a selfish society. We elevate. Don't
We
hate.
do.
Don't hate. Elevate.
We never do
So,
it.
yeah, I think on the offensive side, they can appreciate the defense getting them. What does defenses do? If you can go 3 and out, it's going to give me more offensive plays.
It's weird. So I never want to say this kind of stuff in front of Mark.
Don't say it.
Well, he's right here.
You don't have
felt
to
like
say it.
the Broncos, who I do think your Denver Broncos were part of the culture and the build of what the Denver Broncos have become today, a crown jewel legacy brand. So Mark wore that 80, okay? And people think of like, well, Rod Smith wore 80 when they won it.
Yeah.
Rod Smith is a Broncos hero, don't get me wrong, but Mark Jackson is the guy who made 80 like the thing before the Julius Thomases and the guys won it. So what I'm saying is those late 80s Denver Broncos teams, it was about getting yourself to the end of these games, and Dan Reeves held, I think, you guys back a little bit until Elway had to like unleash you and John Elway and go save a game or win a game, okay? But there's just something to the big picture. Sean Payton, people think is like, he needs to offense. I want a Kamara. I need the next Michael Thomas.
People love offense.
For him,
I like winning.
For him to have drafted Barron in the first round when everyone in town was thinking, I need a running back. Give me the Hampton kid who went to the Chargers.
Right.
For him to have went corner and then still get you the running back and the receiver in the second and third round, it's a big picture thinking kind of stuff. And for anyone who wants to dog Sean Payton, it just goes to tell you that or George. And I actually think, and this is for a whole nother segment, this is a George Payton draft. Last year's draft, when you go get you Bo, it was a Sean Payton draft. George Payton, 2021 was his first draft. In that draft, you get you Patrick Surtain, Quinn Miners. You go and get you Jonathan Cooper. I'll tell you, it went sideways a little bit.
Is Nick Bonito in there? That's it.
The next year, beautiful work. Nick Bonito and Wattenberg, Jeff, is in the next draft. Hey, George Payton, he didn't coach the team. He came in there and was salvaged by Sean Payton. The combination of the two guys, and we got to do a break here, have been beautiful work. Yeah. And Sean Payton said, quote unquote, well, I'm just glad we're better at this draft thing than everybody else. Hey! Yeah! That is some wild stuff. I'm being serious. That's powerful stuff when you hear that, and he's proven it. He's kind of proven it. So let's set up a break here. We've transitioned into Broncos, but over the last weekend here in Denver sports, an iconic kind of weekend in Denver sports, the Nuggets are now preparing to go against a Thunder team that people think is the next Celtics, the next greatest ascending team in the NBA.
Not me.
And the Avalanche just lost.
I hear that.
Hey, Heartbreak City. Mikko Rantanen goes hat trick against your Avs. And where are the Avs?
1 year removed.
Are the Nuggets going to move forward? We'll talk about it on the other side. And check this out. So Jeff has a beautiful wife and kids. Mark is a ladies' man. We have anniversaries, Mother's Day right around the corner, birthdays. We go to Nico Stone's every single time, all the time, because I have 4 kids. Every birthstone, gemstone, colored bracelet, necklace. When you go to Nico's, something new, beautiful every single. Jeff, what are you doing for Mother's Day at Nico's?
Well, I think it's time to do something around the neck. I've been working the hands lately. I've been working other parts of the ears. I've been working the earrings, right? But I think it's time to get my wife something around the neck.
Okay. I'm going to just go and say, I'm not sure what he meant by that.
A necklace, guys.
But I'm going to say that my wife's kind of into right now bracelets a little bit. She's into bracelets. Necklaces are super cool. We have 4 kids who have birthdays in every single different month of gemstone.
When is Father's Day?
Father's Day doesn't exist. It's all about the mother.
Mother's Day. Nico Stones has both.
If I have a Father's Day where I can sleep until 8 and not get yelled at, then it sounds like Father's a big day. But Nico Stones, man, I'll tell you, Mark, you have an unlimited budget. Former Denver Bronco icon. So money is no issue. If you're Jeff and you're looking for value, you go to Nico's and you find something within a certain amount of budget that feels like the unlimited budget guy value.
Yeah.
So just tell me a little bit about like when you're looking for something for your moms, for your girls, for your beautiful daughter who's awesome and super smart. Love that kid. What are you looking for? How do you define it? Where do you go?
Nico Stones, it gives you the ability to make an impression, right?
Yeah.
A gift, right, that can last for a lifetime. It's not something that you buy and they use it up. It's not like flowers. You want to get something like flowers that you can see on a daily basis, a daily reminder of how much I love you.
Flowers, here's my money. Just take it.
Oh, there you go.
Because the flowers in a few days are
big wallet.
Dead.
What lives longer, guys? Flowers or diamonds?
Nico Stones last forever. So, yeah, that's it. There's big guys in towns who go to Mumbai and Tel Aviv and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
There's other people who are trying to like talk you into, we've been around for 100 years. We want the next generation of Nico Stones. And that's what we do. I have daughters. I have a beautiful wife. When I'm spending money on gifts and I'm tired of like throwing money to junk stuff, I go to Nico Stones and get something that lasts forever. And it's just what it is. Okay. Forever.
That's from the Sandlot.
One more. Nico Stones, on behalf of those guys, we love you guys. Coming back on the other side. Back in the elevation on Fan Day Nation, I am Danny Williams, Mark Jackson right here, Mark in the middle, Geoff Girsch right here to my left. That's your left to right on your dial.
Yeah.
We have so much stuff to talk about that's happened. It was a historic, iconic weekend in Denver sports, from not just the aftermath of the Broncos draft stuff, but from the Avalanche falling short to the Dallas Stars, Mikko Rantanen going hat trick against his old team. Jeff is good about throwing, period. Jeff's really awesome about throwing phrases or words or taglines or hashtags. When he says gross, Mikko Rantanen is a guy who you traded away. You could not figure out a new contract for a guy who is one of the most important pieces of your franchise and helped you win that Stanley Cup. He comes back to haunt you. I want to cuss, but we don't really around here. The effing haunt you. Bro, what happened with the Avs and the Dallas Stars is devastating. Coming off the Stars eliminating the Avs last year in the second round in 6 games in double overtime, it is a crying absolute shame. I'll say this. So people think because they have Mikko Rantanen and Cale Makar, they're destined to win a bunch of championships. In 1996, they won that first cup.
Yeah.
It took them 6 years later to win a second cup. And do you know what they had to do in the meantime? Fire Mark Crawford and hire Bob Hartley in order to do so. What's the state of the Avs, Mark? How do you bounce back from such a devastating loss?
That was huge. I mean, because I went, just my own personal experience, I went from the Nuggets exhilaration of watching them pretty much blow out the Clippers.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, we're watching the Avs and the Nuggets at the same time, but we had the Nuggets on the top 2 screens. So we flipped the Avs to all the screens in the house, and literally they're up 2-0 in the third, early in the third period.
Oh, yeah.
And
late third.
Wow.
Yeah.
We got two teams that are moving on to the next round, and then you just see Mikko Rantanen just go off on 3 scores in about, I think it was at the 7-minute mark that he...
Is it fitting? Is it
up at 10?
Is it a big picture kind of culmination of, is there good guy, bad guy stuff? Is it a karma is my boyfriend?
That's got to take.
Let me jump in on this. I had to explain this to my 11-year-old son, right? And
George.
He said, old Georgie boy said, what did we get for Mikko Rantanen in that trade? And I said, no goals in Game 7. So, I mean, like,
right.
We can look back at the future. We can look back at the past. But guess how many goals we got in Game 7 of that trade? 0. Guess how many they got?
3.
3 too many.
The empty netter.
3 and an assist.
To bury these
all
guys.
4 scores.
And he's a handsome guy, too. He's got those beautiful eyes and everything.
Okay.
What are we doing? How'd you get rid of such a guy like this?
This is rare.
He's a guy's
Jeff, Mark,
How'd you get rid of that guy? Who's the guy?
guys, stop the show.
Who's the GM that just got fired from the Nuggets? We should add the Calvin Abs guy to that.
Trade Mikko Rantanen.
Yeah, well,
I promise you.
Yeah,
but I will say this, Jeff, sometimes you say things in such a simple and unique way that, like, rocks a guy like me. I'm cultured.
Yeah.
Journalism degree. I reported for the Associated Press.
What?
I don't know if you guys have heard of them. They're only the world's largest and oldest news organization. But, Jeff, you said something in such a simple, damn freaking way that it made me angry, pissed me off. But for any listener or any, like, fan of the Avs, how many goals did they get in the Mikko trade? They're thinking we're going to add... We're too top-heavy. We got steak sizzling. Let's trade some steak for some potatoes,
some green beans,
some asparagus, some green beans. Yeah. Give me another great side.
Mushrooms and onions.
Mushrooms and au gratin. Something au gratin. I don't even know what au gratin means.
Right.
It's French.
It's French. Was the Colorado Avalanche once had 3 of the top 10 or 12 players in the world. And Mikko was the 10th or 12th.
Yes, he was.
Cale Makar is 26 years old. He's ascending.
Life future.
He's had success. Nathan McKinnon is one of, if you want to go Connor McDavid,
generational,
1 or 2 best players in the whole wide world. But to win lots of championships, you got to have a guy like Mikko Rantanen, who it's like a gravy, like, man, and they got Mikko. Well, they thought they can go cash in Mikko for a bunch of other pieces that would help them win a championship. Well, Mikko just came in, slapped it, flipped it, rubbed it down.
Oh, no.
And the Avs are now thinking about, by the next Mikko podcast number 4, Jared Bednar. We're not in the business of firing dudes.
No.
We don't do that here because Jared Bednar has been beautiful for 9 years for the Avs. But there becomes a certain point where the new coach can put this guy here and this guy here. His top 3 philosophies are this. He's a motivator here instead of here. And he tells guys, go here instead of here. And that sometimes that achieves a new, especially in the NHL.
I'm confused.
No, in the NHL, you can fire a coach in the middle of the season. That coach goes on to win championships.
What's the question?
And 8 seats, number 8 seats. One.
Hey, you're not doing 4 hours on the fan.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
8 seats go on to win a championship in the NHL.
That's a tough.
The Avs took it been for
stop.
Brian Shane.
I'm out of here. It's always easy to be the armchair quarterback.
Yeah.
And go back and talk about things after the fact. But the fact of the matter is, every roster on every professional team, whether it's NFL, NBA, NHL, they have to juggle those numbers and figure out who we're going to pay, right?
Yeah.
Who we're going to pay, who's worth it. Is it because he's got blue eyes and he looks really good?
I love that. Like, Mikko is handsome.
I love that.
And he's one of those, he's not the top 10. He's, 10 to 12, right? But he's a guy that's a very prominent part of your offense and your team, the culture.
Well, and if the GM and the coach can't get along, guess what happens? The Denver Nuggets.
Yeah.
Yeah, but guess where the Denver Nuggets find themselves?
Right.
On to the next round. And I'm not that afraid of the Oklahoma City Thunder, not as much as Cecil Lammey and all these Nate Kreckmans and all these smart dudes around town.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Watch this.
Guess what they got? A Canadian who can ball. We already got one of them. Guess what they got? They don't got an MVP.
Skinny white guy.
They don't got an MVP.
Skinny white guy.
But we got one of them. Yeah, we got a tall, skinny white guy by the handful. That's what we're known for. But I'm telling you what, we got the MVP. We got a Canadian who can ball. They've got no rings. They got no rings.
No rings.
Well, okay, I'm going to set this up right here. Jeff, you're good at stuff.
Pretty much everything I touch.
You're one of the best.
Crazy at stuff.
True story.
So what's weird, I got a weird one for you. The Colorado Avalanche have the makeup. Mackenzie, the goaltender, people think he's the next ascending goaltender in the NHL. But people thought that was going to happen in this series.
Yeah.
So what?
I said that. That's so funny you said.
Well, the Avs, I really
Why did you say that? Why did you say it?
Do it.
You were just feeling good?
No,
Blackwood?
I was watching. As I was watching the game, he made a save, and I screamed at everyone that was in the room. We got a goaltender, because that's been the weak spot of the Avalanche since the championships.
Well, people look at me on this camera right now and think he's 25 years old. Wrong.
This guy right here on this camera?
I'm 40-something, and I have 20 years in this game. What I mean by that, Mark, is the Nuggets are going to run into a wall in OKC. I love OKC, okay? I love your Denver Nuggets. But OKC is this weird blend of take yourself back. Let's go back in time. OKC had James Harden, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and Serge Ibaka on the same roster. It was too much talent. They couldn't figure it out, and one or two guys had to move on. What happened? Consolidation, and the rest is kind of history. What I mean by that is those Thunder teams, they never won a championship. Is this Thunder team 26 years of average? In NBA history, teams got to be 30 years of average to win championships.
I mean,
so, Jeff, let me wrap this. I'm sorry. I've said too much.
you've gone too far.
But
they ain't got no rings.
Did the Thunder have to lose hard one more time before they're ready to really win at the next level? What do you think?
Well, I think they lost to a pretty average team last year when the Mavericks came in and beat them. They're not the Mavericks that beat the Thunder last year aren't all that good.
Well, what they have, 2 superstars. Do we have 2 superstars?
We got series 3.5.
Stop it.
We got 3 max.
I had 1.5. He has 3.5.
Aaron Gordon stepped up now. I really believe Aaron Gordon.
I love
so
the player.
Underrated.
I love the player.
Oh my God.
All-time Nuggets great.
Player.
Go on.
22.
Tell me more. My daughter's in love with him. Wants to marry him.
Hey, I'll see you. Hey, see you. Would have retired his number already. Keep going.
I mean, if you look at the scoring on the Nuggets side, it was so equal in the scoring.
Yeah.
In the night where Jokic, your top 2 players, Jokic and Murray go 0 for 8 in the first quarter, and you're thinking,
weird night, bro.
I'm excited about that.
Weird.
Because I know they have to average it out by the end of the night, which means they have to go back.
Elevate
that game. So I was excited about that, but it was really cool
for
Jokic to be on the bench and
wait, do we go
4 points.
No, I was going to ask you about.
I love it.
So you brought
I
up
think we put the cart in front of the horse.
the Oklahoma City team you brought up back in the day. Who was on that team?
Harden, Westbrook, Durant, and Serge Ibaka, amongst other dudes. So what I'm saying is...
No. That was my first question. Sorry. My next question is, name 4 good players on this Oklahoma City Thunder team.
Okay. Shea,
Yep.
Chet,
Yep.
Jalen Williams is special in
Very special.
3 or 4 All-Star games.
No, I know. I asked for 4.
And you asked for 4?
I asked for 4. Do you have a 4th? Dort? Are you going to hit me with Dort? Dort!
Dort, But Dort's, okay, check this out. Hey,
They don't even have 4 good players.
what's your point? What's the question?
The question is, my point is, the Oklahoma City team that you just named had 4 really good players. They barely got out of the Western Conference Finals. Oklahoma City doesn't know the first thing about winning, and they're going to find out what winning looks like
they've won
when they run into the Denver Nuggets.
So just a
BS. Nobody cares about your
season. When they lose, I think Gabe said that, and 3 of them were 2.
Name a big win Oklahoma City Thunder's ever had in their whole history.
Who's beat them except the Timberwolves?
Who's this team?
Yeah.
Who cares? What have they won? I'm asking you to tell me what they've won. You're telling me to tell me who's beat them.
Mark,
Show me one win you got.
I like devil's advocate.
Hey,
I like you,
gangster.
man. I like you, man. But you're crazy.
What do you got? Dark
here. Listen, check this out, Jeff. You're saying some beautiful ass stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So Auburn basketball. I saw a stat where Auburn basketball, transfer portal, Bruce Pearl, the whole thing, had an average of 24 and a half or 25 years old of their combined team average that had them lose in the Final Four of the NCAA finals. They were just about the same age as the Oklahoma City Thunder as a whole. And if you go back and look in the history of the NBA, we're talking like every last layer of the history of the NBA, your stars got to be 29 and 30 and about 28, 31 to win championships. So I am under the mindset and belief.
Next in line is Ant Edwards. You
gotta lose hard.
City. He's older.
Man, Jeff, you're sweet, man. You gotta lose hard a couple more few times before you can really win hard.
Okay, so that goes name
the history of the league.
But name the
hard. Not a maybe. That's an all-time fact.
But you can name them. Name the hard losses Jokic had.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
Spurs.
No, ended his season.
End of the season.
No, I'm saying
Lakers, Spurs.
Jokic's season ended a lot of times before he ever had a ring.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And before he ever had an MVP.
Yes.
And that's Chet. And that's Jalen. And that's Shai and Alexander. I don't give a damn. We got a Canadian. We got something for you.
Jeff, you're saying all the right things.
Because I'm here. We here.
Murray.
Yeah.
How is Murray now?
Jamal?
We watched this guy. It's almost like watching a series on
28.
Yeah.
And Michael Porter Jr. or Michael Porter Potty Jr. is only 26 or 27. So I'll say this.
And they got one of these.
We got to go to break.
Yes.
But I got to say this one time. Comps. Life is about comps. Mark once had this most beautiful, she was, I think, like an SI swimsuit cover girl.
Yeah.
So once you have that, how do you ever go to anything else? Right? So what I'm saying is, you're Denver Nuggets. Just stay with me.
Tie this together.
Your Denver Nuggets, your Broncos. The comp is, Jeff just said it in a very unique and kind of interesting way, yet so simple. The Thunder have to win at a high level, the highest level, in order to get past the Denver Nuggets, who you just said, Aaron Gordon, an all-time Nuggets great. Jamal Murray, one of like these weird, unsung playoff heroes in NBA history.
You want Game 6?
Christian Brown in 2 years. Hey,
Mike Harden.
Christian Brown. Mike Harden.
James Harden down. James Harden only scored 7 points. So before we go to Phil, you have to bring that up. The fact that Christian you remember in Game 6 where they had the little beef where there was a little shoving. I don't know, 6 or 5. I really believe that he got into his head.
I agree.
7 points in a Game 7 for the beard.
James Harden has absolutely figured out this whole series. Christian Brown in 2 years going to be on that next Team USA Olympic team, according to Geoff Girsch and I.
Hey, that white boy broke the beard. Come on.
So what I'm saying is, hey, the Nuggets are in the right situation that you need to be.
Right.
The one thought, and we're going to go to break, is they let the 2-3 seeds, the 3 seed was the Lakers. If they're the 3 seed, they avoid the Thunder until the Western Conference
They're
Finals.
the 2 seed.
But now you're getting, like Jeff said,
the best team in the West is the Denver Nuggets, guys.
That, like, the Nuggets are ready for.
They're going to beat their ass. They're going to beat their ass.
You're pumping me up, man. These Nuggets are going to beat these Thunder. And then when we come back on the other side, Jared Bednar. Hey, hold on.
Is Vince McMahon?
Hey, I saw Vince McMahon back here.
What?
In the Kroenke's office.
No.
And Bednar said, hey, did you come be Vince McMahon? What are you doing here? Do we have a new promotion with the WWE? And Vince said, no, Bednar, sit down because you're fired. Or is he? We'll talk about it on the other side. The Elevation. Final segment, the Elevation on Fan Nation. I am Danny Williams, Geoff Girsch over here, Mark Jackson. He's Mark in the middle. We have so much stuff to kind of get into, man. The Denver sports market has been a banger from post-draft to the Nuggets and their ascension and, aspirations to try to compete for another NBA championship to now what do the Avalanche do? Bednar, is he on the hot seat? Do you move forward with him? What's the difference between him and Michael Malone's firing and maybe his firing? But I'll tell you, Mark, I just a little bit of post-draft stuff. You're a receiver. They took a corner with the first pick in Barron, who's a leader, a Thorpe Award winner.
Yeah.
I think that's super interesting, big picture for the Broncos, especially for anyone who thinks the Broncos are trying to like a Sean Payton offensive team. Then we'll get into the Avs, the Nuggets, but just kind of final thoughts on the Nuggets or the Broncos a little bit.
Broncos?
Yeah.
So one I think it's going to be a gem from the draft. I'm hoping.
Okay.
So you never know. That's the thing about the draft.
Yes, give me one.
You put your best guess out there and you draft this guy out of Purdue in the 6th round. He's not played very much. He's a little short, a little smart, but, not that.
Yeah, I know that guy.
All right, let's be honest.
I know that guy.
Yeah, and he takes you to a Super Bowl. He catches the ball in the drive, and he takes you to a Super Bowl. And then next year, he does an 8-yard touchdown. But anyway, I'm not bragging on myself.
I was talking about Mark Jackson.
But.
Top 5 favorite Jackson.
Yeah. But Caleb Lohner, I hope I'm saying his last name right, but here's a tight end that's got 10 games of experience, but he's a baller, right? He's a basketball player. And I'm thinking shades of Jimmy Graham, shades of
Julius Thomas.
So they go out and get Engram.
Tony Gonzalez?
Tony Gonzalez.
Okay.
A proven tight end with Engram, but you toss him into the mix, and now Bo Nix, this second-year quarterback that performed spectacularly in year one, now has that tight end. So what's a running back's best, was it?
Asset friend.
Yeah, is a running game.
Yes, for
What's
sure.
the second asset or friend?
I think a tight end that gets you first down. Because then the running back gets the ball.
I love that. Okay, so Evan Engram is a guy who's 30 years old. They signed to a couple-year deal who's going to be for one, what I love about Sean Payton, he likes guys who can do lots of different things. He calls them jokers.
Yeah.
So to get your tight end you go from a tight end room that looks like one of the weakest in the league. You got Troutman, who's kind of like a blocking tight end, can't do a whole lot more. And to now you go sign Engram, you draft the kid, all of a sudden you got a unique and dynamic tight end room. When you're a receiver and you're playing with tight ends who can block, who can just do different things, are kind of versatile. As a receiver, what's that mean? What's that
it means a lot. I mean, I played in a room where, Clarence K was the leading tight end, but when Orson Mobley was added to the mix, you had someone that was tall, big, was able to run great routes, and like you said, Jeff, pick up that third and 3, third and 5 to keep the chains moving, right? So now we see that the same dynamic happening in the Broncos tight end room. What I want as a receiver is someone that I could stretch the field, but if the quarterback can dump down to these tight ends, what's killed the Broncos really in most of the games that we've played is that tight end, our ability to cover the tight end. Who you have at that linebacker.
I think what's been killing the Broncos for the last 8 years is first downs. Honestly, first downs.
You're talking about on the offense.
No, I'm just talking about first downs. So
that's the enemy as a defense is an extended drive.
Yeah, but
extended drive.
He's right.
The enemy of the defense is first downs.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
The offense doesn't get no first downs. And so I think adding a tight end, like we said, for the running game helps the first downs. But guess what? If you have a sweet tight end, then the wide receivers are more open because the safeties have to slide over a little and they have to dip, and the linebackers don't know who to cover now because you got a tight end for once in your life. And so I think for me, it just comes down to first downs keep the defense off the field, and first downs get the running game going. And first downs keeps Mahomes off the field. Oh, my God. And first downs.
Everything's about Mahomes, by the way.
Yeah.
It's about
until it's not, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I mean, you guys are saying, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a different alternative, the aspect and perspective of that tight end game is you're saying, well, we don't have one, but who we have not been able to stop, from the Kelce's to the Darren Wallers to the end of the Antonio Gates.
Yeah.
So now Bowers is so dynamic and so unique. He'll be a prop for the next 10 years for the Broncos in the AFC West. And I'll tell you, man, if we could have one of our own guys, Evan Engram is 30 years old, but I'll tell you, I'm a gambling man. I put those parlays together, not one leg, not two legs, not 3 legs. I'm talking about giant wieners here. I'm saying Evan Engram is a perfect complement to all the things that Sean Payton is going to want to do, while the Broncos ascend and give Bo Nix just one more weapon, one more, target. Perfect compliment to the team. Loved it. Because he came here and he didn't sign, he left town. Usually when a free agent comes in or leaves town, he doesn't re-sign. This guy re-signed with the Broncos and found a way. Means he wants to be here, and we really wanted him to be here.
And I think it's the culture. You see, guys, so the Broncos also went out and got...
C word again.
It's so important.
It's the most important.
So important. When you look at teams like the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I don't want to put them on a pedestal, but they're typical of what I'm talking about. How many coaches have they had in the last 23 years?
Like 2? Yeah.
Yeah. How does that happen? There's a culture there that the next coach can build on, right? And if you can have culture, now you have self-policing. Everybody wants to win. It's not an egocentric locker room. Everybody's in it to win it as a team. As a what? As a
team out 3.
Yeah. So
speaking of culture, too, speaking of guys,
yes,
maybe we pour some out, too, is Greg Popovich.
Mitch Williams taking over that team, Coach Pop.
But what about culture when it comes down to when you think of NFL culture, we can think of Belichick. When you think of college culture, you can think of
Saban together.
But when you think of
and Reeves,
NBA culture
together.
Yeah, and then I guess, but what's it going to take for these Broncos to get a new Super Bowl? It's going to take Sean Payton's culture.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
What made, real quick, we'll wrap this show up. We can go like another 2 or 3 hours.
At least.
But we want to leave you guys wanting a little bit more. Okay, so
it's what we do best.
Dan Reeves said you're never staying the same. You're getting better or you're getting worse.
True.
How does that, and Mark, tie this into these Broncos and the culture of your Broncos? Culture means what, and how do you ascend instead of finding a way to lose?
We saw it last year. We saw Payton get rid of a couple guys on the team that weren't team players, right? That weren't willing to sacrifice their own stats, their own egos for the team, right? So I think he's kind of weaned out those people and he started to bring in his people. And it's year 3 or 4? How many years has he been in?
3. This will be year 3.
So year 3,
pretty good,
pretty quick.
Pretty
build the culture, right?
I gotta say, I'm a buyer.
Yeah, you get back into the playoffs. I think other teams in the NFL they're seeing what's happening. I mean, we pick up 2 defensive guys from the San Francisco 49ers. Why?
Yep, Trey Greenlaw.
They're buying a special culture here.
I like how you left a Polynesian name out. You were like Drake, Greenlaw, and like Palafanufu.
I mean, I'm 1 for 1. I got the Greenlaw. This kid, Greenlaw, the Kyle Shanahan, and
they'd have won a Super Bowl if he didn't get hurt.
Kyle Shanahan.
If Drake or Greenlaw didn't get hurt, he'd have a Super Bowl.
White Broncos tight end who shouldn't be here, who's in the Hall of Fame, who was with the Buccaneers. Who shouldn't be in the Broncos Ring of Fame, who's John Lynch.
Yeah. Hey, you said tight end. You said defense.
I'm sorry.
It's fair.
Yeah.
That's my bad.
Lynch.
John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan flew out to try to stop Trey Greenlaw from signing with the Denver Broncos. That's how not only the important they thought this guy was
supposed to win
championships, but
it's not like the Broncos went over the top to get him.
Culture.
Right.
You brought that culture stuff right back into being the biggest difference maker to the Avs falling short here in dramatic fashion. The next podcast might have the Avs having a new head coach. The Nuggets ascending to what Geoff thinks is playing a team in OKC that is their equal until OKC is really ready to take it to the next
OKC is not the
level. And then the Broncos just taking the roller coaster goes.
You know something? I got to throw this in here. We talked about Payton and Payton, right?
Yeah.
We got to talk about the Waltons. The new ownership of the Broncos also, I think.
Aren't you jealous?
Adding to that.
Chef's
I love the fact.
You remember 20?
Well, he had 20. You had Bolin. You had the best of the best.
I had definitely had the best.
So you're not jealous.
Julie Bolin, just actually the niece of Pat, just hit me up on social media because I made some post or whatever. But yeah, I said in that post that, Pat Bolin is an outlier. He was
Hall of Famer.
He is a
Hall of Fame
owner. He actually loved the players. He was a players
all-time
owner for sure. Here's the thing about the Waltons is when the team was up for sale, Jeff Bezos was one of the guys. I don't know if you knew this, but or if it was popular for everybody to understand, but he wanted to buy the Broncos.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, we all want pieces. He doesn't know shit about it. He doesn't know anything about football, right?
Yeah, my stuff's always late.
Yeah.
Deliveries.
Yeah.
That's right. Prime my ass. Coach Bond.
The deal was, to me, I was like,
Yeah.
You want somebody with money. Because money can buy the players, they can buy the championships, they can create the culture.
But Mark Cuban's got a lot of money.
Well, again,
Daniel Snyder's has a lot of money.
Cuban's, is he still even the owner of the Mavericks? They sold.
Cubans have Snyder's out.
Yeah.
They all had a lot of money.
So you're saying the best thing, Mark, you're saying the best thing that the Denver Broncos as a whole have going for them is
their ownership.
One of the most.
They're not panicking. They're not going to push the panic.
Culture is started by their ownership.
Yeah.
That's actually not Sean Payton's culture. It's a Walton culture that expects greatness, even at the highest or lowest price.
Come on.
Right?
Okay, you're right. Mark, you know it better than anybody because you're still within the organization. The best thing that the Denver Broncos have going for themselves moving forward is they have the richest ownership group in professional sports in the world. We're talking about the Arsenals.
Yeah.
We're talking about the Cronkies, who we love.
Right.
We're talking about Euro, anything. The Walton Penner Group, go to Walmart. It's popping, bro.
Yeah.
Stuff's cheap. I just got my bananas, got some hamburger meals.
Walmart.
I got some Toast Crunch. And do you know what? It was the cheapest. And I'm joking, but I'll tell you, we go from Pat Bowlen, check this out, and we're going to wrap the show up on this because this is some serious stuff.
Yeah.
Pat Bowlen in the early 2000s and the late 90s had to take loans out to sign players and give them their signing bonuses for a couple $1 million, to where the early 2000s to with the ascension to the $1 billion empire.
Crazy.
That sports, professional sports as a whole, let alone these Broncos, are worth. It's just, we went from Pat Bowlen, who did anything to pay anybody, to they never slacked.
Yeah.
Guys were paid.
He's a competitor.
Yeah, they weren't Jerry Jones wealthy. Now they are, and the rest is history. The Broncos got the best freaking thing going for them with the premier coach.
We're looking at new stadium in the next 5 to 5 years.
Danny, let me jump in quick.
Yes.
Because we did this on the radio.
Yes.
And we talked about if you could pick one team in the league who's got a coach and a quarterback
most going for
who will be in the same spot.
Who's got the most?
No. Just on the same team 5 years from now.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Just
upside.
5 years from now.
Right.
Which coach and quarterback will still be there together? And it's Sean Payton and it's Bo Nix. And I can think of maybe one or two other teams.
Couple, but
I mean, the Vikings got the McCarthy and the young
the point.
And
OC.
But McCarthy's not proven
That's
yet.
the point, guys.
The point is,
what's going to happen?
we just got done explaining how great the ownership is.
So if you're Vikings,
Plus, we have a coach and a coach and a quarterback that'll be here in 5 years.
There's no better way, Jeff. Hey, there's no better way to wrap up this podcast and kind of want them leaving a little bit some more than the Broncos mini camps, OTAs, ascension to what we're thinking. People are going to be talking about 12 wins for the Broncos.
Right around
the Nuggets. We'll see what OKC has for us.
Yeah, they got to beat us.
We
don't got to beat them. They got to beat us.
I love the mindset.
You get that, right? You get that, right?
Hey,
it's easy.
The Timberwolves took it from us. Let's go take it right back.
That Malone didn't coach them.
Let's go Nuggets. Malone, if the Avs, there's no shame in their game. They had to play the fourth best team in hockey record-wise in the first round of the playoffs. I don't know. I don't want to cuss. I don't want a playoff bracket and system NHL has going. Do it. It's some bullshizzle. Hey, they don't believe. But what I'm saying is great stuff from the elevation today on Nation. Danny Williams. Coach Girsch over there.
Hey, I'm not hating. I'm just elevating.
Hey, you heard the drive, right? Mark Jackson. Don't forget about that third. What was that, 3rd and 15 or 4th and 15?
Something like that.
Did they forget about that?
18.
I think it's 3rd and 18.
No.
3rd and 18 now.
See you guys next week. It's the Elevation on Fan Day Nation.
That's a wrap.